row by row, and this calculated the sum of sales where your country name equal to US, and it will took only the country name of US, and then it aggregate price with the quantity. That's it. And this is nothing but a filter context, as we say that already. What about the implicit and the explicit filter? And you can see the implicit color, one, two, three, four. One defines the row, the color of your product. Two defines your column, right? And three defines your product, right, as a slicer. And four defines your filter. So the filter are nothing but your static. You are not nothing to do with that. You need to do that actually, right? And this thing you need to know about what is about. And the expect is a filter. You can see, right, the calculation unique customer and unique customer rate. We are using a Dax function, and we are calculating the distinct count of customer key, and you are filtering with the color name, right? And this is the row context. The row context, as we you can see, right, it is on the row, that is a related table or a collections of rows in your fact table. When you just having a dimension column, and your measure how it is get filtered based on your dimension value, that forms your row context. And the filter context is nothing but it look like the similar, but how a way it is different is you're applying a filter on a column. Let's say you want have a sales, right, or sales sum of sales for the color equal to red. Means there is a column red, column name which has multiple value red, blue, orange, and you are applying on the column color equal to red. That color red have multiple rows span across your fact table, and that already associated with dimension, that will display only your interested column measure amount. And your filter context, predominantly you are using an iteration function here. So, and we showed here, this is again how we are calculating the total sale for all customer. Without selecting the country slicer, I'm getting the total sales in my report. If I just put a dimension introduce here, I will get those value here. And this is a typical fact dimension model, one which is product and calendar, or your dimension and sales, your fact table, and the association, the relationship between your dimension to factors one to many. So as the relationship is established between the fact table, you are getting the right results in your table here. And this is your DAX, how the filter context, as I said, you can take as a name as grifter. The row context is nothing but it displays all things with regard to the name. In the row context, I'm just filtering on a particular spread that constitute a row context. A row context is nothing but without the filter context is nothing but there is a value that is selected from your one of the item in your row context. That in a simple way, you can see we are calculating sum of sales and the product name equal to grifter, right? So it is a subset of your product. Your subset is your grifter, and you are calculating the sum of amount and displaying here. So filter context, the precedence will be always your row context. Okay, that is the thing you need to always remember when you're writing your query actually. And the differences we know from this figure, uh, filter context is a subset of row context. In other way we can call it, right? And you can see this, how the differences between filter context and the row context, right? And this is a Dax train. How we can understand the Dax train is Think about a train, that is your table name. The first coach, the window seat, you can see, right? And if I want to, so if I want to, the ticket name of the your coach, okay, your coach, right? Your coach. Think about your coach. Okay, there are multiple coach in your train. First coach, second coach, third coach. I'm just taking a subset of items from here. For that, the first coach I need to identify, let's say a train is a row context. On the train row context, you are selecting a subset that is your filter context. You just selecting as first coach, and then you are selecting the peoples who are sitting in the windows. You are selecting one more filter, and you're adding windows, and you want to identify which family they have been with. That's it. That's how your DAX will operate here actually. And this is the calculated measures and calculated column. The calculated columns are the iterative, and your measures are your aggregated value. And this is the difference between calculated measures and your calculated column. In the calculated column, I'm using a logic to define the wait time, and I'm producing the results on the same row by row. Whereas in the calculated measure, I'm just calculating as a whole for the count of mail call ID, and I'm calculating based on a selection. If I'm selecting any of the high, low, average, that will display the sum, the count here. And this wait time bus that will go with the row by row. You can see the calculation here. So, and this is the difference between your filter wise row context. The row context are, as I said, that is iterative, and the filter context are based on the measures actually, or a calculate. And the row context is summax actually, and go with row by row. And filter tables, you can go with the measures or the calculate actually. And this is your report visual, and there are two visual that we displayed here. One is a matrices, and other with a visualization with a bar chart, and your measure how it aggregated. And you can see there is only one name, Am, Mark, and Sally. As you see in the sales table, how the data look like, and how the data in the metrics visualization underneath report visual, that will display your sales as an aggregate of 160, which is nothing but 100 plus 120. Sorry, it is nothing but 85 plus 75. And this how when you apply a filter here. If you apply a filter on name as a mark slicer, then you can able to see only a mark total, the sum of sales here. The rest of other thing will not be available in your visualization. And this is nothing but your row context. In the row context, you are selecting the product subcategories as a sharing byte, and then the contract session as a row values as applied to the column filter, and then to the filter apply on the related filter here, and then to each sub product. So that's how it will work. And if you want to familiarize on a DAX functions, you need to be a master on all these functions for a minimum, actually, I would say. And